The magna is gone. This is it's a nice way to start an update, isn't it? Well, excuse my appearance. I haven't shaved in a while. My hair's a little, it is what it is. But anyways, the magna had some problems. So, about a month ago, I was riding along, and I was starting to notice this ticking noise coming from the engine, more so than the usual valve train noise that you'd get from any old bike like that. I thought, well, maybe it needs an oil change. So, to buy Mart, got some oil, threw it in there, noise didn't go away. So I thought, maybe it's something with the valves. So then, end of last week, Saturday was, I went in and did a valve adjustment. I had been dreading doing a valve adjustment on this bike for about a year, I'd say. Actually, I've been dreading doing it since I got the bike, because not only is valve adjustment on a motorcycle a little bit different than a valve adjustment on a car, unless you're lucky to have like an NC 700 or a Grom Z125 single cylinder, like a dirt bike dual sport, whatever, or parallel twin. If you're lucky to have certain bikes where the head is readily accessible, doing a valve adjustment is not fun. So I went in there, did all 16 valves. It's a 4 valve per cylinder, dual overhead cam, 4-cylinder, so 16 valves. Since it's a V4, you got the cylinders arranged like this. Instead of having the cylinders all on a line, you've got 2 banks of 2 cylinders each, and they're 90 degrees offset from each other. So yeah, I didn't want to do a valve adjustment. Lower the, there you go. I didn't want to do that. But finally I did. Adjusted all 16 valves. Went out to take it for a test ride. The noise didn't go away, so I thought, that's interesting. So I thought, then maybe it's the cam chain. And then the noise changed from a sort of a persistent clicking to a very loud and very obnoxious clattering. I have some footage of what it sounds like, or sounded like, I should say, from when I went out on that test ride, and I will put it up on the screen. But yeah, so I thought, well, maybe one of the valve adjusters came loose, because the torque wrench that I had wouldn't fit in the area where the valve adjuster is, because the way the valve adjuster goes is, okay, so let's pretend this is the camshaft. The way the camshaft is set up, so you got that, got a rocker arm, sits on top of the cam, you've got the valve. And the way the adjuster is set up, and this switch is totally inaccurate, but whatever. The way the adjuster is set up is, it goes, the rocker arm goes down. No, I can't remember. No, I have it wrong. It's this way. The valves are like that, and the rocker arm goes from the bottom of the cam lobe the cam lobe hits the bottom of it, and then it presses down on the top of the valve. So it goes like that. Unfortunately, the way this bike is set up is the valves are actually angled like this. The adjusters are angled like that. So you can get a box end wrench in on top of the adjustment nut, but you can't get a torque wrench in on top of it. Okay, I'm glancing at the camera screen, sorry about that. You can get the adjuster screwdriver in there if you want, but you can't get a torque wrench on top of it because it goes right into it points at the cam. And if my diagram is inaccurate, I will throw one up on the screen. And that will be accurate. Okay. Anyways. So I couldn't torque them down properly, so I thought maybe one of the adjusters had come loose. I wish it was that simple. I got back home, I took the bike apart again, and rechecked all of the adjusters. Still as tight as when I had done them first. In fact, I readjusted the valve clearances to see if that might have been the problem. And there were a couple that were a little tight, but I got them all adjusted to within spec. But the noise didn't go away. And I knew then it wasn't the valve adjusters. And I also knew it wasn't the cam chain because the cam chain was nice and taut. So that leaves something else. Both me, or I should say both my father and I, and my father's a much better mechanic than I am, both he and I suspect that one of the rod bearings is about to go. Now, another visual aid. So, let's pretend this is the piston, and this is the connecting rod that connects the piston to the crankshaft. You know, basically what happens when the piston travels is it goes like that. The connecting rod moves from side to side because the bottom is spinning around the eccentric lobe on the crankshaft, and the piston just moves straight up and down. Okay? And there are two bearings in the system. There's one here, there's one down here. There's one at the piston and one at the crankshaft. From the sound the bike was making and the location it was making it from, we think that it's the upper rod bearing. One of them, at least, because there are four cylinders. Now, unfortunately, those aren't these kinds of bearings. Those aren't these like little teeny roller bearings like this destroyed skate bearing. They aren't these kinds of bearings. What they are is basically little half circles of metal. Really, to go proper terminology, you'd really call them bushings because they're solid. And they're more close to bearing races than actual bearings, but they're called bearings. Don't ask me why. But anyways, one of those is probably going. I don't know which one. I didn't bother to find out. Because while it is a relatively simple procedure to fix it, and I could do it if I had okay, there's the big one. There's the if. That's the reason why the magnet is gone. So I could do the procedure myself if I had the time, I had the money, and I had the space. I have the space, I just don't have the time and the money. The Magna is my only vehicle, or was my only vehicle. Let's see, today is the 1st of April, and no, This is not an April Fool's video. This is real. This happened. Yesterday, I traded my bike for another one because I don't have any money to buy another bike and sell this one. Anyways, I don't have the time or the money to spend on trying to fix the Magna. I'm a full-time student, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I have homework. I'm graduating this year, so that means I might have more time in the future, but I also am looking for a job. I need a job, like desperately. Those of you who watch this channel may know that, or some of you who may watch this channel may know that I was hired at Home Depot a while back. That fell through. Here's a quick work tip for those of you who want to join the workforce or have already joined the workforce and are looking for jobs. Don't get hired at a company and then take 3 weeks off, even if you think you've cleared it with them beforehand. In fact, make sure you've cleared it with them beforehand and check in every once in a while. Anyway, so the Magna's gone because I don't have the time or the money to spend trying to diagnose the problem and fix it. Because what that would mean is the engine would be out of the bike. It would be either on the floor of our garage or on the workbench in pieces for weeks, if not a month, of a month of Saturdays and Sundays working on it, if that. Maybe even just a few hours each night that I can get during the week. But I don't have the time to do it. I also don't have the money to do it. So I put the bike up on Craigslist. I was originally intending to sell it and get as at least what I paid for the bike, which was $900 in 2015, which in today's money is like $905. Who knows? I don't know what the rate of inflation is per year, or that would be per annum, but so the Magna's gone. Yesterday, I picked up my new bike. She is a 1984 model, so 1 year newer than mine, than the Magna. She's, what was I gonna say? She's also a Honda, so I'm not leaving the Honda family. And she's one of the rare Honda bikes, or one of the more uncommon Honda bikes that is 700 cc's instead of 750. I'm going to do a video explaining why in the mid-80s Honda released a series, in the mid-80s the Japanese motorcycle manufacturers bumped down their 750s to 700 in displacement. But the clues I'm going to leave in this half of the video. 1984, it's a Honda, and it's a 700. And another, it's also a bike that I've been wanting to get since I started riding. It's been a bike that I was enamored with back when I first realized that I wanted to ride motorcycles. So, if you can guess it, great. If you can't, then I suppose you're just gonna have to watch the video. Watch the rest of the video. Probably should have put this at the beginning of the video. But, well, if you want to guess it now, go ahead. If you don't, then just keep watching the video, because here it is. for Honda Nighthawk 700S, or CB700SC model code. I picked up off of Craigslist from a guy in North Portland in trade for my Magna. The bike has about 40,000 miles on it, and it needs some work. She needs some work. She didn't run when I got her. I was able to get her running with just a few tricks and some bodging, but she needs a bit more work. When I bought her, or when I got her, she didn't run right. She had something with the carburetors, or with the fuel system. She is missing the rear turn signals she has are not the stock ones, even though I do have the stock signals in a box of parts, one of 3 boxes of parts that I got with the bike. So just a treasure trove of parts. The gear position indicator doesn't work, except for showing neutral. The kickstand was bent. I replaced it with one that was in one of those bins of parts. And she also smokes a little bit out of the tailpipe. She's burning a little bit of oil, but she's mine. And she has far fewer problems than the Magna did. Sure hope the guy who bought her, I'm sure hope the guy who took the Magna has luck with her, has the time and resources to take it to a mechanic and take her to a mechanic and have her properly gone through. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that little bit of cinematic gibbledy-gobbledy that I put together. I'm not that good with it yet, and I don't really have the proper equipment, but I'm working on that. I'm going to get the proper equipment, and then when I finally do, they're going to be amazing. But I hope they turned out alright for what they are. And anyways, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, thank you so much for watching. Just don't forget to like the video, share it with your friends, leave a comment, subscribe to me if you want, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.